I drink your milkshake. I drink it up!
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 actors who never make bad movies.
They tried to kill my wife!
For this list, we'll be looking at the most conscientious actors who seem to always make the best choices when it comes to selecting and interpreting their roles. What actor will always get you to see their movies? Let us know in the comments. Number 10, Kate Winslet.
St. George and the Dragon.
Where's Pauline?
Oh, I haven't gotten around to drawing her yet.
Some actors have to spend the early part of their career in bad movies before getting their big break. Not Kate Winslet, though. The English actress made her film debut in Peter Jackson's 1994 film Heavenly Creatures, a film that made many Best of the Year lists and earned a screenplay nomination at the Oscars. Winslet followed that up with 1995's Sense and Sensibility.
Good God, Willoughby! Will you not shake hands with me?
And for the subsequent 3 decades, she would continue to appear in quality films. Admittedly, the Divergent franchise isn't her best, but remember that she got out before the 3rd film and its 11% score on Rotten Tomatoes. From the masterpiece that is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind to the underappreciated Contagion, Winslet never disappoints.
But you will. Right now I can't. But you will. You know, you will think of things, and I'll get bored with you and feel trapped because that's what happens with me.
Number 9, Tom Hanks.
My mom always said life was like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get.
Putting aside the mega flop that was The Bonfire of the Vanities and the mediocrity of the financially successful Robert Langdon series, Tom Hanks has had a very impressive career thus far. Films like Forrest Gump and Saving Private Ryan are obvious mentions, but some of his earlier endeavors like The Money Pit are better than you might remember.
I don't think that can hurt us anymore.
Also, Road to Perdition is a brilliant film that doesn't get talked about enough. We can't forget his voiceover work either, calling all Pixar fans. Hanks also gets a few extra points for the underappreciated That Thing You Do, which he wrote and directed as well.
I'll even put in the paperwork. I just know that every man I kill, the farther away from home I feel.
Number 8, Joaquin Phoenix.
I could never do anything bad to you. Or ever hurt you. A guy that does that to someone like you doesn't deserve to live.
If we can all just agree that Joaquin Phoenix's film career didn't really start until the wonderful dark satire To Die For in 1995, then we can ignore films like 1987's Ruskies. Is everyone with us? Plus, if we blame 8mm on director Joel Schumacher, then we can really talk about how awesome Joaquin Phoenix's undertakings have been. Gladiator won the Academy Award for Best Picture, and Joker earned him a Best Actor win.
You think men like Thomas Wayne ever think what it's like to be someone like me? To be somebody but themselves? They don't.
It might surprise a few to know that Phoenix's 2 highest-rated films on Rotten Tomatoes are Her and Come On, Come On, both of which stand at 94% fresh.
It's okay to not be fine. You know, like, you can be, angry and...
Number 7, Jessica Chastain. We don't know if Jessica Chastain gets any help picking her roles, but regardless, we applaud the results.
Is that what you really think?
Well, most of them. The Huntsman Winter's War was a visually impressive disappointment, and with an egregious 0% on Rotten Tomatoes, 2009's Stolen is one she'd probably like to forget about. For the most part, however, Chastain has impressed with great performances in solid movies.
Over the course of 2 months, he's called from 6 different payphones from 2 different cities, never using the same phone twice.
The variety of films is worth mentioning too. From Molly's Game to The Martian, she isn't afraid to take chances either, as seen in the Pacino-directed Salome. A film that combines nonfiction and documentary, this is an experimental piece of art that, speaking of Rotten Tomatoes, currently sits at 100% fresh.
It's
Number 6. Christian Bale. Christian Bale's temper tantrum on the set of Terminator Salvation wasn't great for his image, but at least when people think of the movie, they're more likely to think of Bale's outburst than how mediocre the film was.
Who told people to fear the future, that the end was coming, that all would be lost.
Barring that, Bale's track record is quite remarkable otherwise. There are the ones everyone points to, like the Batman movies and American Psycho.
Look at that subtle off-white coloring. The tasteful thickness of it. Oh my God. It even has a watermark.
But Bale has also starred in a number of high-quality works that don't get talked about enough, such as The Prestige and 2002's underappreciated sci-fi Equilibrium. When you see Bale's name on a poster, you know you're gonna see one of the best actors working today, and it's likely to be a worthwhile watch as well.
Thank you!
Number 5. Kate Winslet. Kate Winslet has 48 movies reviewed on Rotten Tomatoes, and not a single one of them has a score lower than The Monuments Men at 31%. This is a film that, while not necessarily much to write home about, wasn't strictly terrible either.
We've chatted, and I know about you.
Moving on from her very few misses, Blanchett has 10 films that scored 90% and higher, including the Lord of the Rings trilogy, as well as the second and third How to Train Your Dragon installments.
May it be a light for you in dark places when all other lights go out.
Let's not forget that the actress was also in The Talented Mr. Ripley and earned her first ever Oscar nomination for her portrayal of Queen Elizabeth I in Elizabeth.
I am not your Elizabeth. I am no man's Elizabeth.
Number 4. Leonardo DiCaprio. No, we're not gonna try to convince you that Critters 3 is a good movie. But it was Leonardo DiCaprio's debut, and we all start somewhere. 2 movies later, in 1993, this boy's life is generally considered to be what kickstarted one of the greatest of all time film careers in recent memory.
So, how is the bride this morning? Don't. Ooh, the bride doesn't want to chat.
Okay, that's enough now.
The bride sure is snotty this morning.
It certainly hasn't hurt that DiCaprio has worked with some of the best directors around, from Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet to Steven Spielberg's Catch Me If You Can.
Quiet down, people! My name is Mr. Abagnale. That's Abagnale!
Sam Raimi directed DiCaprio in the surprisingly good The Quick and the Dead, and of course, there are the many quality films he made with the legendary Martin Scorsese. Don't worry, we're not forgetting James Cameron's Titanic either. Our heart continues to go on for the Oscar winners' projects.
He's afraid. He knows how far I came for him.
Number 3. Meryl Streep.
Ted, I'm leaving you. Ted, keys. Here are my keys.
Sophie's choice? How about MsMojo's choice trying to pick Meryl Streep's greatest movie? In all sincerity though, Sophie's choice is definitely up there, along with Kramer vs. Kramer, Manhattan, Adaptation, and A Cry in the Dark.
The dingoes got my baby!
Plus, who would have guessed that Mamma Mia would be such a success? Or that the movie adaptation of The Bridges of Madison County would be as good as it was? Obviously, Streep did, because she agreed to be in both of them. She also starred in the movie Doubt, but when Meryl Streep is in a film, there's very little doubt that it's going to be a good one.
Sometimes I wish that I could freeze the picture.
Number 2. Daniel Day-Lewis. While widely regarded as one of the greatest actors of all time, we would argue that Daniel Day-Lewis has made some of the best role choices of all time as well. Day-Lewis's first credited role was in the 1982 Best Picture winner Gandhi.
Colin, what you doing?
Nothing.
Come out where I can see you.
On the flip side, the last film he appeared in before announcing his retirement was yet another Best Picture nominated work, Phantom Thread.
A Welsh rabbit with a poached egg on top, please. Not too runny.
Bookended by 2 award-worthy films, his career saw plenty of other high points. His work with director Jim Sheridan stands out with My Left Foot, In the Name of the Father, and The Boxer, as do the 2 films he made with Paul Thomas Anderson, the aforementioned Phantom Thread and the 2007 masterpiece There Will Be Blood.
I've abandoned my child! I I've abandoned my child! I've abandoned my boy!
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Emily Blunt. From The Devil Wears Prada to A Quiet Place, Blunt rarely misses.
So I was Miranda's second assistant, but her first assistant recently got promoted, and so now I'm the first.
Jack Nicholson. When it comes to quality acting and quality films, Nicholson is as good as it gets.
You make me want to be a better man.
Morgan Freeman. With Freeman, you know you're getting a great movie and an even better voice.
There's only one boss in this place, and that's me.
Anthony Hopkins. Sit back and enjoy a profound Hopkins movie with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
John Cazale. He was only in 5 features before he passed away, but each was nominated for Best Picture.
I'm your older brother, Mike, and I was stepped over.
That's the way Pop wanted it.
It ain't the way I wanted it.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Denzel Washington. Denzel Washington has a presence on screen like few others.
To protect the sheep, you gotta catch the wolf. And it takes a wolf to catch a wolf, you understand?
Not only does this make him one of the greatest actors of his generation, but it also brings a certain degree of gravitas to his performances. He manages to make rather mediocre films like John Q and The Bone Collector watchable, something they probably wouldn't have been in anyone else's hands. While he's been able to save some not-so-great movies, he's also made plenty of enthralling ones.
Ooh. He thought he was different, didn't he? What you think now?
Glory is an important and powerful Civil War drama. Devil in a Blue Dress is a top-notch film noir. Tony Scott's Man on Fire is a sorely underappreciated action film. Washington has also proven himself a double threat, directing and starring in 2016's Fences.
Now, don't you go through life worrying about whether somebody like you or not. You best be making sure they're doing right by you. You understand what I'm saying? Yes, sir. Then get the hell out of my face and get on down to that A&P.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.